Oh, hey, here's this really beautiful thing I made that's sort of about how fucked up you are. Pixie Queen is a record that I thought about writing, conceptualized it a few years ago and just sort of been collecting little pieces, and then sat down with my producer Will Yip and brought a bunch of ideas into the studio, little parts, little melodies here and there. A couple songs we had pretty sussed out, but it was mostly just ideas. And then we spent a bunch of time, actually we spent very little time, arranging them and putting them together, and made like a whole album just around relationships, mostly to do with my wife, but a lot of just relationship themes kind of in there. Not all like lovey-dovey relationship stuff, mostly like how it is when real stuff's going on. My wife sort of knew about the album as a concept. She knew that I was writing right up until I went to record the record with Will. And there were times where I needed to get some things done and figure out some things before going in the studio. And we have 3 children, she's pregnant, and it was a little bit tough to manage I have a very difficult time managing time. So it was hard to make time to do that. And there were some songs that got written off the cuff of her yelling at me for not managing my time. So the record sounds a little sad. I think that my wife's been very supportive, but when she heard the record, she didn't really love it as much because of the fact that some of the songs are about the tougher aspects of a relationship. She immediately loved the way it sounded and loved, all the production stuff, and she loved it the way it was. But I think it's, difficult for somebody to be like, oh, hey, here's this really beautiful thing I made that's sort of about how fucked up you are. And to be totally honest with my wife listening to the record, I'm not sure if she's actually sat down and digested everything that's in there, and I'm almost terrified for her to ever do that. It's really fun for me to do solo tours. I have a few of my friends playing in my little band that I've kind of organized, and it's a no pressure situation for me. I have a bunch of other bands, and there's a lot of stuff that goes in that's involved with touring with those bands, and there's people, and this I feel like is, there's a lot involved in everything, but for me it's just all about fun and just hanging out and playing music with my friends. I'm really, really excited to play New York. I love Highline Ballroom, and the last time I was there, I think I had an awful show. I can't really remember it. I don't know why I had an awful show, but I had an awful show there, so I'm excited to go back and redeem myself, and yeah, it's gonna be really fun. On the Pixie Queen tour, we're doing a VIP experience where people can come and do like a 3-song intimate set right before the big show. And selfishly, it's really cool for me because playing a big show, to a couple hundred people is amazing, and it's what you dream about doing your whole life. But there's something that gets lost when you kind of deviate from the magic of just being in the room with a couple people, no amplification, just playing acoustic guitar. It's also a cool way for me to actually meet some of the crazy fans of the band or other people that have really been supporting me for the last decade of my life, support my family and make it so I can even do stuff like this.